In association with Official Wrestling comes A Few Good Marks Podcast. Hello everyone, welcome to A Few Good Marks Podcast with your host Kieran Moran. As always, I'm joined by Pete,
Heyo.
Croft,
Hello.
Candy,
Hi.
and Willow. Unfortunately, he's
Dead.
yeah, he's away on business.
Man down.
Away on business.
Away on business.
Being dead.
He's gone back to the Indies to find himself.
Yes, that is exactly what he's done. So today we're talking stipulation matches. There's been quite a lot of them recently in WWE. What?
Nothing. I just thought of from an earlier conversation.
Yeah, that's so relevant. So we're talking. It could very well be, but it's probably not.
It's not.
That's not
It's not.
Well, I'm glad we got over that. So we're talking stipulation matches. So yeah.
There's been too many.
There has. That's my first point. I want to kind of. There's so many being used in WWE at the moment, and they're not being used properly either.
No. I think to use a stipulation match properly, it shouldn't be you have a feud, so you throw a stipulation match in. It should be you have a feud that's so intense that the only way to settle it is with a stipulation match. And the stipulation match should be relevant and not just an afterthought. It's not we need to make this intense, so we'll have to use one. It's the only natural progression for this feud is to have a stipulation match. It should all lead up to something. It shouldn't just be done for the sake of it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a kind of case in point is like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, like that kind of feud, like from when Shawn came back, the amount of stipulation matches they had, but they were fierce.
Yes.
Like they were, that was a brutal rivalry, and it called for it. But then how many feuds in recent WWE memory can you think of that actually required its stipulation match?
You can think of far more that don't.
Probably one, but I don't think it had a I think we've mentioned before Cena versus Punk, but did that ever have a stipulation match, or did you just let
It had
it go
a
out
bloody good,
singles?
had a bloody good 5-star match at Money in the Bank. That was it.
I don't think they did.
They didn't.
It's like, that's probably one rivalry that could have maybe had a stipulation match, but it didn't need one.
We didn't exactly didn't need one.
I think they're being used. I'm okay with them being used and even thrown in for the sake of it if they're done well. The best example I can think of is last year's WrestleMania between Lesnar and Ambrose. There was that no holds barred street fight thing.
This one's a touchy subject though, because apparently Ambrose had all these ideas he wanted to do to get his character over, with all the whole thing that had gone done with the Chainsaw Charlie thing and the Mick Foley handing over Barbie and stuff like that, and then Lesnar just turned around and was like, no. That's apparently what happened. I've heard many.
Regardless of who's to blame for it, the fact that they're having these stipulation matches and the expectation is there for things to go well and for the stipulation to be used and for it to just not happen makes it fall flat, regardless of whose fault it is. Obviously, I'm not blaming Ambrose for that. I'm not blaming anyone for that unless they're at fault. But it's becoming a pattern now where you have this, because of previous stipulation matches, because of previous no-hold-barred matches between at WrestleMania, for one, the fact that in a street fight, if you're going to rank all the street fights in WrestleMania history, one involving Vince McMahon is better than one involving Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose. It shows that they're being overused, and we've been inundated with these stipulation matches that we're kind of expecting to be disappointed by them now, when it should be the highlight of any match card.
Agreed.
But now it's just a part of a match card. You expect there to be at least one stipulation match on every pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think this is the problem with and especially with stipulation pay-per-views such as
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules,
Every match
Hell in a
has that
Cell,
stipulation.
Money in the Bank, and Elimination Chamber. The only one I can agree with is Money in the Bank. It's the only one out of all of them that works because it doesn't necessarily need to lead to a storyline. They proved it with WrestleMania time and time again. It was just a match that happened, and it does. Moving it away. Yeah, I was kind of skeptical.
Skeptical.
There you go. Skeptical.
There you go.
I wasn't. Yeah.
Skeptical about moving it away.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. About the moving it away to begin with, I wasn't quite sure on it, and then over time it's proved that it can work, and it can work very well. But Hell in a Cell definitely doesn't. It just devalues. It has devalued.
It might be
Hell in a
alright
Cell.
if they just did one.
Yes,
But when
agreed.
you're like, oh, we'll have this match and the United States Championship match, that can be in Hell in a Cell. Like, no.
When I
It's off.
first thought of it, like heard it, I thought every match was going to be in Hell in a Cell.
like
I thought it was
Lockdown.
going to be like Lockdown. I was like, what?
What I don't like is the fact they're just stupid in the ones that they give pay-per-views to. Like, Fatal 4-Way had its own pay-per-view
It did.
at one point, and that was an annual event at one point, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, happened 2 years in a row.
So, going into Fatal 4-Way, whoever the number one contender is, people who aren't even smart marks know full well that there's going to be a Fatal 4-Way for the championship. So they're going to throw 2 people in who don't deserve to be there, but because it just so happens to be the time of year where there's a Fatal 4-Way match, 2 people are going to get a shot at the championship. And not only does it devalue the match type and the competitors in it devalues the championship.
Yeah.
Because you're showing that if you happen to be near the title picture when Fatal 4-Way comes around, happy days, mate. You just won the lottery because you're in the Fatal 4-Way match.
I think the thing is with Extreme Rules as well, being a... I've not really got, like, I'm not going to lie, like, Extreme Rules, when they first brought out, that was, like, my favourite pay-per-view. Like, I was, I'd always look forward to that one. But it seems like now, it's not so much every match is Extreme Rules or whatever. It's every match has a stipulation regardless, because the Miz and Ambrose did a really clever one this year, and I think I commented on it in a podcast before, saying, like, when I first heard it, I was like, that is stupid, because the idea was if Ambrose got disqualified, he lost the belt. And I was like, during an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, but then at the same time, then afterwards, like, it's a good match anyway, which always helps. But, and then I was like, okay, fair enough, it's, I'm not sure where that point was going, but, yeah. It was okay in the end, because it was different.
Yeah, I'm okay with it being different, and I'm okay with having stipulation matches that kind of cut the legs out from underneath someone. Because Dean Ambrose's thing is that he's a wacky fella that likes using things to hit people with.
Plants.
Hot dogs.
He loves going around being mental and hitting people with objects. And you just gone, aha, you can't do that now, mate. And the fact it was at Extreme Rules makes you go, oh, that's kind of stupid. But at the same time, you go, oh, okay, that's a power play for The Miz. And it made people talk about
And
it.
he won anyway.
Yeah, which is good.
Absolutely.
But what I don't agree with is when they just go, throw it in for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I don't like Elimination Chamber. I granted, Elimination Chamber is a spectacle in itself. It's like, especially with the brand new cage they've got as well, I really like it. It's a lot bigger, it's a lot safer to do high spots in. But I think the element of surprise for that needs to happen. And also it being a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, I don't like that either. No. Because there's like, that very easily could have been a Raw pay-per-view leading up to WrestleMania. There was that many people in the title picture.
Yeah.
So
it's like, but like, that's similar, like, there's 6 people, like similar to Fatal 4, it's like, if you're close to the title picture, then lucky day. It's like, they did that for the, when they brought it back in 2005, because they did Edge, Triple H, Benoit, and it ended in like a no contest, so they vacated the title, and then you're like, wow, good, happy days for Randy Orton, Jericho, and Batista, because you've now getting into a shot at the title.
Yeah,
and just stick your all into this elimination chamber. It's like, but why these 3?
Very
completely
true.
random.
Which is why I think it's different when it's for a number one contendership, and this is kind of applies for Money in the Bank as well, because you can throw anybody in, because it's like, okay, here's your shot, go and prove it, which is why Money in the Bank works. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't work.
I think a main point about, I did have something for this. I had this big point planned out in my head, and I've completely forgotten. No, there it is. If you have
searching through the files in your head,
let's pretend that didn't happen. If you have all these stipulation matches and you're throwing them at fans 24/7, it can go one of 2 ways. It can make them go, oh, okay, I like WWE or whatever promotion you're talking about, because it offers up all these different unique match types. But it can also go the other way, where they look forward to the unique and interesting match types, and they're less enthusiastic about the normal matches, because you've had so many stipulation matches. if you have stipulation matches every pay-per-view, people know they're going to be every month, so they're likely to skip over the weekly shows because they know it's just full of the boring stuff. Because you're giving them too much. You're giving too much away by having these stipulation matches all the time. If you save them for big feuds that actually need them, the fans aren't expecting them, and they know they're only going to be pulled out for big occasions. So they'll look forward to them, but they'll be happy with what they've got in the meantime, and they'll still value the regular week-to-week stuff. Because I know a lot of people that'll only tune into pay-per-views, casual fans, they'll only tune into pay-per-views because they know, they might have a match where they hit each other with things. Or they might have one of their matches in the big cage. And for these kind of fans who don't know much about the business and aren't tuning in every week, they know that those stipulation matches are going to be coming at pay-per-views.
It's interesting that you're bringing that up because this ties into my next point, and it's that you're seeing a lot more of these types of matches on the indie circuit now. There have been countless steel cage matches around the country. I've seen, especially in the UK, I can't really speak for America. There's been a number of steel cage matches recently. I think there was a Hell in a Cell at one promotion, but I think it was just a steel cage with a roof on it. The ICW at Barromania this year, they had a barbed wire match. They legitimately wrapped barbed wire around the ropes. That was between Jack Jester and Drew Galloway. It was his last match before he left for WWE.
ROH did a triangle ladder match not too long ago between the Bucks, the Young Bucks, Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, and someone else.
There's been a TLC match. One of my friends has been in recently. Progress doing a fans bring the weapon match for Will Ospreay and Jimmy Havoc. Like that's, I mean, fair play. It's a match type that's never been seen in the UK before, and I'm not like having a go at stipulation matches. I'm just simply saying because WWE are doing a lot more of this stuff, and it seems to be that's what's drawing crowds these days. Because that's what people think wrestling is. That then promoters are jumping on that bandwagon.
The thing is, you just can't get excited about them.
No.
It's like if like in the past, if like, these two people are going to have a TLC match, like, that's pretty big news. Whereas now it's like, it's December, you're having a TLC, and it's like, brilliant stuff.
And TLC is another one as well. Like, and this, not really, like, I'm going to bring this on to another point in a second. I'm going to tie this in, because TLC, and a lot of matches are legitimately one of my favourite stipulations. There's just something about a lot of match that can solve a feud, that can end, that it can be a definitive and you can be happy about it, especially with TLC as well. And now that they've taken it and made it into a pay-per-view, and they even had a steps match at one point. Like,
we'll see.
Jesus
We'll
Christ.
see.
I think the big point, the overarching point to all of this, is that you're burning fans out by giving them too many of them.
Yes.
So they don't appreciate it when it comes around. So that means WWE at the same time aren't saying, maybe we should cut back on stipulation matches to make them appreciate them more. They're saying, oh shit, what can we do to make it fresh? Which has now led to them bringing back the Punjabi prison match.
And they had the House of Horrors match.
Exactly. They're doing stupid things to try and one-up themselves every time. And what they could be doing is just scaling them back and making people appreciate match types that work and just not doing them so often.
Whatever happened to a good old bull rope match?
A good old wrestling match.
Good old wrestling. To move it on to a slightly happier topic on the same topic. So, never mind. Same subject, different topic. Other way around. I don't fucking know.
New module.
New semester, yeah.
What's everyone's favourite stipulations? Let's lighten this up. Because, I mean, we've had a go. Let's have a different go. Let's have a happier go.
I love the shit if they're done well. I love the shit out of Falls Count Anywhere matches.
Do you like Falls Count Anywhere?
I absolutely love them, but on one condition, that they actually use it, which goes for any stipulation match. If they actually use the stipulation.
Unlike Taz.
Unlike Taz, who won in the fucking ring.
Who, every match is a false count anywhere, but they all end in the ring.
Stupid.
Fucking Taz.
I think they should end with someone getting thrown off something big.
Like a building.
Yeah.
Like Big Show.
Like Big Show.
Big Show.
No soul falling off a building.
Thrown off,
Big Show.
You could throw someone into a river, but then how'd you go pin them?
I like it
on a life raft.
It spills out the ring. And then,
didn't Al Snow pin someone on the banks of a river?
Yeah, one of the hardcore title.
But like, I like the excitement that you get when they get thrown out of the ring and you're genuinely going, oh, where are they going to go now?
Yeah, true.
Because, they can go anywhere.
I think my favourite Falls Count Anywhere match is probably Jeff Hardy versus Umaga at Extreme Rules, I want to say 2008.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
9, I think.
9, you might be
Was
right.
it 8?
Oh, don't do this to me.
Shit.
Anyway.
It was 8 because Umaga was against Punk at 9.
There you go. They legitimately brawled to the outside. And I remember Hardy doing this really cool spot where he slid down the banister rail and clotheslined Umaga. That was cool.
Yeah.
And then he did a swanton off a fucking trailer. on the car park. I don't even think there was any protection or anything. Granted, you didn't see him fall onto him, so he may have swantoned onto like a crash mat, and then they moved out of the way.
The thing I like about Falls Count,
I like Falls Count Anywhere.
The reason I like them the most is because in every other stipulation match, we've kind of seen everything they can do with those matches. They've done pretty much every spot they can do with the ladder match at this point, or variations of them.
Yeah.
They're going to keep repeating the variation of jump off big thing through ladder. That's going to happen at every ladder match from now on, but we've seen it with Falls Count Anywhere matches. They could pull out something new at every show because there's always something new to do in every arena they go to. That's why I like them so much.
Cool. Candy, favourite stipulation?
I don't know, I can't say I have a favourite. In the past, before they were oversaturated, I would say either TLC or Elimination Chamber. Because I used to watch every Elimination Chamber, but then they just started doing so many, and then 2 in one night, and then it's like, oh, now we're doing one for the number one contender is the winner of the Elimination Chamber. It's like,
we watched that.
Just
I remember watching
diminishing the point of the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I remember on that point of going 2 in one night. I remember the first ever WWE pay per view I watched live was at your house. It was at Pete's house, and it was Elimination Chamber. I want to say 2010.
Was it? Was it No Way Out 2009?
It was No Way Out 2009. I mean, but it was still this was still when it was called No Way Out. But and it started off with Edge losing to Jeff Hardy within 3 minutes or something, and then him coming out and I think he attacked Kofi Kingston, took his place, and then won the WWE title or World Heavyweight title to end the night. Good pay-per-view, go and watch that. But yeah, I do kind of agree that that's the only time where 2 in one night has been used well. When they had a story linking both of them.
I think the big point to be made there, and ties in with what you're saying, it needs a story for a stipulation match. It can't just be for the sake of it, because people clock onto it.
Pete, favourite stipulation?
My favourite stipulation has always been Hell in a Cell.
Of course it has.
Well, not just for kind of the link to Undertaker, but also because Hell in a Cell's right. This is fucking it. You can't have any other match. You two need to finish it, and this is the only way out.
Very true. Very true. There was a thing I think I saw with steel cage matches as well, is that steel cage matches, like, granted they've become quite common as well, but the idea of them is to keep people out. And then they added the stipulation of and also containing as well, like you can't run away or whatever. So the original ones were only pinfall or submission, and then they added escape in the cage, which granted has given us some, some decent ones. There's like Bret and Owen Hart escaping the cage, Bobby Lashley jumped smashing down the cage onto Umaga.
Batista and Undertaker hitting the ground at the same time.
Yep. But then when you're trying to do both, and then people also you can just open the door and walk in and stuff like that. It's that's when it the steel cage match I think it just has to be.
Yeah, I really don't like the steel cage where you can escape, because it just seems the same thing over and over. It's 15 minutes of someone climbing up and then someone pulling them down.
Exactly.
And then someone going to the door and then someone pulling them back.
Yeah.
And someone getting to the top and going, just get out, and they jump in.
But this is why
Jeff Hardy.
This was why when Superfly jumped off the top of the cage, that's why it was so iconic, because it was a pinfall submission match. People were like, why are you going up? Oh my god, what is he doing? And then he jumped. Yeah, and as I mentioned before, ladder matches are definitely my favourite, without a doubt. I love a good ladder match. I think just going into them, I guess it's the same with Elimination Chamber as well. Is that they can do some real damage.
Yes.
There's one spot from, I want to say, Christian versus Chris Jericho.
I figured it was Christian versus Christian, and
Christian versus Chris Jericho, and I think Christian drop kicks the ladder, Jericho drops down in the centre, but the
Arse
ladder
first.
moves, and his arse lands smack on the edge of the ladder, and he just bounces off, and it's like, holy shit, how painful must that be?
Yeah.
It's just like that was. I remember I've got the ladder match anthology. It was one of the first WB home videos I bought, and I remember just like watching it, and I think it got to that point, and I was like just binge watching all of it, and it got to that point, I was just like, okay, this is too much now. I can feel the pain.
I'm turning it off. Yeah.
This is enough.
That's how you want stipulation matches to make you feel.
Yeah, absolutely. You should be like, what? And you should get the reaction from guys and doing big spots and stuff like that. But it's just a shame that they've watered them down to the point now where it's just like, unless something like amazing happens. Like the last like memorable spot I can think from a ladder match was probably at 32 when Zayn jumped through the middle row.
And when he killed Kevin Owens by
Oh yeah.
Oh, looks
Half an hour.
scoop slamming him onto the ladder.
Yeah, that
Broke
too.
his back. I think a good stipulation match, which probably isn't considered a stipulation match, is the Royal Rumble.
yes.
Oh, well, that's a
Point.
classic. That is just absolute classic.
I think if we're including the Royal Rumble, that's got to be my favourite.
Because it has its own pay-per-view, but it deserves it because it's an hour-long match.
Yeah, and it's got some history. It's not like they're trying to shoehorn in history to fucking TLC, which already has it. That's a bad example. More like Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah.
Like, I know I keep going back to it, but they tried to,
'Cause it's a bad idea,
they tried to
that's why.
shoehorn in some history to the Fatal 4-Way stipulation where it doesn't need it.
No, absolutely not.
Before, can we just do a very quick worst stipulation?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. If you can think of it.
Of all time.
Blindfolded.
Blindfold
Steel
matches.
cage match.
Kennel from Hell.
Oh,
Mine is
Hell in
the
Hell.
reverse battle royal that TNA did.
Yes.
Are you on to the reverse battle royal?
I am not.
I am
Right,
on
you
to
had,
the
you had
reverse battle
16
royal.
people outside the
Yeah.
ring to start with.
Uh-oh.
The first 8 people to get in the ring over the top rope were in a battle royal, and then they had a battle royal, and then the last 2 people standing in the ring had a one-on-one match, and the winner of that won whatever it was they were fighting over. But the stupid thing was, all you had to do was get in the ring to start with, and you had people fighting, and there's an even number of people, so this situation shouldn't have happened, but it did, where you had people who very clearly could have got in the ring, but stood there going, I need someone to fight with here. No, you don't. Get in the ring. And then they had a terrible battle royal involving Rikishi, who at that time was like TNA's monster heel. And then the final, I didn't even watch it to find out who the final 2 were. It was just the idea of a reverse battle royal.
If we're doing bad TNA ones, Last Rites match.
Oh.
Right, they're a version of a casket match, but the thing took up half of the ring. They had half a ring to work in. Not to mention the props they were given were crap and
Plastic
broke
candlesticks.
and bloody polystyrene tombstones. It was crap. It's just awful. And
Was that the one where someone sold picking it up as if it was a heavy...
I told you about this. Yeah, Abyss.
"Oh,
Abyss sells picking. It's between Abyss and Sting, and Abyss like picks it up. He's probably struggling to move it, and then Sting comes over and goes, "That's wrong." Boop.
Sting.
Just moves it out of the way. It's like, oh Christ. But yeah, Last Rites is
I do
pretty
not
bad.
like I Quit matches.
Oh, really?
No.
Really?
Oh, I
Really
love
don't.
them.
I like a good I Quit match.
Oh no, I just think that
You're not gonna like this, but John Cena and Randy Orton had a very good I Quit match.
The best
I
Quit
think
match.
of that one.
Best
Rockin'.
I can't say
Rock
I-
Mankind.
Rock and
Was that the first one?
Mankind.
I don't know if it was the first.
No, I don't think it was.
It was the best.
But it was the best.
That's the one where,
That's easily one of the best
He plays
finishes.
Mick Foley over
Yeah.
Tannoy system.
That's the best.
Yeah.
One of the. I would say I would go all out and say that's probably my favourite finish WWE has ever done. That like playing.
I'm sorry, you're gonna put that over WrestleMania 30.
Yeah,
Really?
hands
That
down.
happened at 30.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, it's a much better finish.
Yeah.
It's so much cleverer.
I'll go with Rock Mankind.
Oh, you made him tap out. He didn't.
No,
He
it was the whole
didn't.
motion.
He made
Twat
he
him
made,
with a chair and make his kids cry.
he made
and
Batista
then
tap
play him
out.
over
He'd
the
been there
speaker.
for about 4 minutes.
It was
Yeah.
great. It was
Don't get me wrong, just
fantastic.
fantastic finish. I'm not. That's an argument for a different time. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I Quit matches are sick. Yeah.
They all
Pete
end with
West-
something like someone quits and it's like, could have quit about 5 minutes ago with something else. If this is the thing that made you quit, then you could have either done something a bit better or quit 5 minutes ago during a better spot.
Yeah, I suppose.
They always end disappointingly.
Worst one. I wouldn't say worst, but just funniest is one I saw in a What Culture video the other day in Japan, where there's like the ring ropes are barbed wire, but there's explosives linked to them.
Ah,
The
yes.
ring is on an island, and in the water around it are explosives, so if you fall in, you blow up. But then you have to get to the ring by being driven there on like a jet ski.
Love it. Love it. Japan, I salute you, you beautiful bastards.
Japan's full of mad wankers, but that's why we love them.
We love you. I think we should leave it at that.
I agree.
Because we love you, Japan. We will see you next time. This has been the A Few Good Marks podcast, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And if what?
You're looking real jacked, baby.